Hey, my friends, it's another episode of Nic Leobold Live. And today I want to discuss why we should abolish the prison system and the justice system. Um, the justice system argues that when people commit crimes, the way to protect society is to put them in a cage and punish them, and somehow that's going to make society better. But it doesn't, and the cure is worse than the disease. Uh, for instance, why do people become criminals and violate other people's rights? Usually it's because, well, Thomas Jefferson argued that everyone is born good, and it's only the corruption and degradation of society that turns them into bad doers and criminals. Um, when we need prisons and we need a whole so-called justice system with lawyers, judges, police officers, court personnel, administrators, bureaucrats, technocrats. We're creating a whole megalith of oppression, which only victimizes these. These criminals are actually they're victims themselves of previous injustices and malformations of society. And now they victimize someone else, but we're putting them in prison and creating and building these enormous prisons and employing thousands of police officers and prison guards and the judges and all the corruption that the justice system is itself. Is that going to cure society of the harm that the criminals did? It's not going to heal society. It's just going to create more suffering, more pain, more corruption, more crime. The crime that the justice system perpetrates. Also, there are so many innocent people who are put behind bars and incarcerated when they've committed no crimes at all, or they're innocent, or they're wrongly convicted, or they were wrongfully arrested or targeted by the police. The prosecutors, the district attorneys, often prosecute people who are completely innocent just out of political ambition. So the justice system is so corrupt and so imperfect that it can't be relied upon to mete out justice and to correct justice. So corrections doesn't work, prisons don't work, the justice system doesn't work, and the criminals are themselves victims, and you're just further victimizing them by putting them behind bars. So some people would ask me, what about a murderer, or what about a rapist, or what about one of these terrible criminals, and how can we just let them go free? Well, they're still in society, and if justice has to be meted out to them, it can be done by vigilantes or by groups of citizens or private companies, or so in an anarchist state or a classical liberal state, you don't need a governmental justice system to mete out justice. I mean, justice generally comes to people who deserve it. I mean, if someone is a really bad person and they deserve to be corrected, usually they're corrected in society without the government stepping in. So the prison system and the so-called justice system and the police system creates so much pain and suffering and injustice and corruption in our society that it would just be better if we didn't have the justice system and the police system and the prison system at all. And the evil murderers and evil people would be taken care of anyway in the free society. They would be eliminated through boycott, embargo, or revenge, or whatever fate they meet. But we don't need a justice system. We don't need the police. We don't need police forces. People have the right to bear arms and defend themselves and their families and their businesses. And we don't need a court system. Not a criminal court system. And there are private non-governmental ways to deal with crime, as I've given examples of. And as for civil cases, that can be dealt with. There are libertarian philosophical works on how a private civil justice system can work, with different layers of judges and legal representation. So I'm in favor of eliminating the so-called justice system. I'm in favor of eliminating the police forces and eliminating all the prisons, and we will solve crime and solve injustice privately in society as individuals without these corrupting institutions and these corrupt institutions. So that's my contribution to this subject, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll come out with a new episode of Nic Leobold Live as soon as I can. And I'm wishing you all of you a great week, and good luck and God bless. And I'll talk to you next time.